Hey YouTube fam, welcome back. I'm really looking forward to practicing with you today. My name's Nicole, if we have not gotten the chance to practice together before. I recorded a long form version of this class for my online yoga studio called Lakula and had so much fun with the flows, like ridiculously fun time with the flows, that I thought I would bring a shorter, more condensed version here to YouTube as well. I'm getting ready to host my 5th annual April Yoga Challenge inside of Lakula, my online yoga studio, where there will be a new upload every single day for the whole month of April. And at the end of the month, someone will win a spot to a yoga retreat, and a couple people will win annual memberships as well as some other fun little prizes as well. Outside of the April Yoga Challenge, I upload 3 new classes every single week into the Kula library, and the library has hundreds of pre-existing classes that you can filter out exactly what spice level you're looking for, as well as areas, focuses of the body, skills that you're working on. It's a really extensive and thorough and well-rounded library. I would love to see you in there. If you do join, there will be codes and links and stuff below for you to check all of that out. Drop a comment, let me know where you're practicing from, what part of the world you're tuning in from. Lakula has like 65 countries or something inside of there, and that's one of my favorite parts about the community, is just getting to connect with a global yoga community and cultivate that inside of the online studio. So I hope to see you in there. As far as today's practice, this is going to be a high spice advanced practice. We're really gonna get into it. We're gonna work into Super Soldier, which is a posture that I've gotten quite a few requests to bring back. It's been a while since I've brought it into a class, as well as the splits. Might not be a bad idea to have a couple of blocks nearby, but otherwise all you need is you, and we're gonna get started in a seat. I suggest sitting down with the ankles crossed, so Sukhasana, easy seat, and then close down the eyes. Land in a place with the hands in the lap where you can get pretty tall into the spine, soften the eyes shut, and just simply start to attune to and tune into the rhythm of your breath. Slow and steady breaths in through the nose, and slow and steady breaths out through the nose. You might press the tongue into the roof of the mouth just behind your top front teeth, like you're saying the letter N. And it's possible that you'll feel a little bit more airway open up to you in your nasal passages when you do that. Last little detail here for your breath. Can you move your breath a little bit lower, meaning that every time you breathe in, you feel your belly expand, and every time you breathe out, the navel pulls in towards the spine. Take 2 more long and slow and steady breaths, just like this. And with the hands gripped around the kneecaps, round through the back body, pull the chin in towards the chest, tuck the tailbone up and in. Think cat-cow in the spine. As you inhale, pull the heart through, get broad across the collarbones, and squeeze the shoulder blades towards each other on the back body. 2 more times like that. Exhale, rounds you out. Inhale, pulls you through. Once more, exhale, round it out. Inhale, open it up. Come back to a neutral spine. Crawl the hands forward so that you're simply folding over the legs as they are, driving the knees down towards the floor. Here just for a breath. We're going to get moving quite quickly since this is a shorter, more condensed practice today. But of course, if you need to linger in these beginning shapes for a little bit longer, then please do your thing. Walk the hands back towards you, set the feet out towards the edges of the mat, knees are bent, toes point up to the ceiling. All sorts of options for you here. Hands can plant behind you for support. I'll encourage you to play with lifting them up as we windshield wiper the knees to the right, and then back through center and to the left. Again, hands can be to the floor for support anytime you need. I'm gonna layer one more piece into the mix. Next time you're windshield wipering legs over to the right, you'll pause, lean the upper body out, lift the hips, engage the glutes, drive the hips forward, and then lower the hips back down. Move through the middle and over to the left. Maybe the hips lift. You engage the glutes and drive them forward. And then a couple of times on your own, you can play with speeding this up or slowing it down. But really articulating the movement pattern, this rotational capacity of the hips as you sweep it from side to side. Finishing the round that you're on. And then find yourself back in the middle, feet planted to the floor, hip width distance, hands underneath the shoulders, reverse your tabletop, lift the hips up, pull the shoulder blades onto the back body, and then lower the hips to tap the mat. Exhale, drive them high. Inhale, lower and tap. Exhale, lift up. Inhale, lower to tap. Last time. Exhale, drive them high. And then lower the hips back to the mat. I want you to entertain me here for a moment. Please know that you can come to standing however you like to come to standing. If you'd like a little bit of mobility moment, mobility challenge, plant the feet out a little wider than the hips, point the toes out slightly. You can use the hands for help as you need or not. We're going to play with lifting into a Malasana passive squat. This will not feel so passive along the way, but your knees wide so that you can get your body weight forward between the thighs. You might even use a little momentum by leaning back and then planting weight into the feet and lifting the hips up. And if that was a no-go, it is all good. It is over with. Lift the hips into a forward fold. Wherever you're at on your mat is cool. Front of the mat, back of the mat, middle of the mat. We're just going to land in this fold, clasp opposite elbows, and find a little bit of a bounce. A little bit of a bounce, like you were trying to tap the forearms to the floor. And as you release the hands down, step the right foot to the top of the mat on the outside of the right hand. Step the left foot back. So we're landing in a runner's lunge with both hands on the inside of the right foot. Pop up onto fingertips. Hands can always come onto blocks here. Continue to bounce. Lifting and lowering. Moving in and out of your depth. Again, hands will stay on the inside of the right foot. Straighten through the right leg any amount as you pull the hips back into an extended pyramid pose. You could even drive into the right heel and lift the right toes up off of the mat, just an option. Rebend into the right knee. Step the right foot back, step the left foot forward. We are simply swapping it out. Find a bounce. Feeling into the length up the front line of the right hip. And of course the compression in the left. For another few cycles of breath. As you're ready for it, extended pyramid pose, left leg straightens any amount, hands can be on blocks. Might dig the left heel into the mat and lift the left toes from the floor. Rebend into the left knee, plant the hands, step back to your plank pose, wrists underneath the shoulders. And as you land here, take some circles on the wrists. If you need to drop the knees down to the floor, of course you can, but circling around the wrists. And maybe you can get the feet involved. As you shift forward, can you come so far forward that you're just on the big toes? And then as you pull back, grip all 10 toes to the floor and kick the heels back. Switch directions if you haven't yet. Find your way through center. Lower all the way down to the belly. Untuck the toes, oscillating cobra. Set the hands up wide, tent the fingertips. Inhale to lift the heart up. Exhale lowers you down the middle. Inhale, lift to the top. Exhale lowers you down. One more time, in breath, lift up. Exhale, heart to earth. Slide hands underneath the shoulders, tuck the toes, press up to the top, plank pose, and then wave it back, downward facing dog. Couple of breaths here to pedal out the feet, so you're bending into one knee and then into the other knee, shift the hips side to side. Finding your movements and your wiggles that feel good, getting into the nooks and the crannies, clearing out the cobwebs. Find middle. Wave it forward, find your plank pose. Side plank on the right side, roll to the outside edge of the right foot as the left fingertips lift. Option to stay here to pull the left knee in towards chest. Possible that left peace sign fingers hold on to the left big toe. Maybe you play with straightening out through the left leg, any amount. Doesn't have to come all the way straight. Can you think of lifting the right hip a little bit higher? As gently as possible, unravel through your plank pose, hands and feet to the floor, lower halfway chaturanga. Knees can drop if you need them to. Press back to the top plank pose. Side plank on the left side, right fingertips sweep high. Same options, you can stay here. You could pull right knee to chest. Peace sign fingers could hold on to the right big toe. You could play with straightening any amount through the right leg. One more full cycle of breath here. Mindful in this transition space. Unravel through the middle, find your plank shape. Lower halfway chaturanga. This time pulling it through to up dog or any other back bend that feels good here. And then roll over the toes, send the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Take a slow and steady breath in through the nose here. And sigh it out, let it go. On your inhale, sweep the right toes high. Bend into the right knee, open up the hip. Option to stay here or to roll it open towards your wild thing. Right toes could step to the floor behind you as you roll the right shoulder blade onto the back body. As we unravel, right hand comes down to the floor. Pull the right knee to nose. Right knee to nose, curl it in. Can you tap the knee to the floor halfway up the mat, so halfway between the hands and the left foot, and then curl the right knee back into nose. Now I want you to step the right foot halfway up the mat and lift the left toes high. Option to stay right here in this kind of extended standing split shape, or if you wanted, you could bend into the right knee, plant the hands out in front of you, and even play with a hop or two towards handstand. We're not going to give this a ton of time, but just if you wanted the opportunity to add that into your flow today. If the right foot has left the ground, it lowers exactly where it came from. So right foot halfway up the mat, pop up onto fingertips. Now curl the left knee to nose. Tuck the left thigh in towards the left rib cage. You're on the ball of the right foot. Step the left foot through between the hands. Sweep the right foot all the way to the sky, standing split at the top of the mat. If at any point you want to bring blocks underneath the hands, you can. Right knee bends, open the right knee up towards the ceiling. Possible that you reach the left hand around to hold on to the right toes. If you get that grip on the foot, find a little bit of a kick. You're welcome to stay here, or left knee could bend. As left knee bends, you kick the right foot off to the left side of the mat, lowering you down towards a dragon squat. Again, all are just options. If you've lowered down, we get to take the journey back up to the top, driving into the left foot. Lift the hips up, point the right knee all the way to the sky. If you've got the grip on the right foot, release it. Start to get lighter into the hands, maybe palms to touch at the heart. Pull the right knee into chest, coming all the way to stand. So right thigh hugs up towards the right rib cage. Now the right leg's gonna stay as it is. Left knee will bend. As the left knee bends, it delivers the right foot down to the mat, meeting in a chair pose, Utkatasana, palms to touch at the heart. Shift your weight into the right foot. Everything else stays the same, but squeeze the left heel in towards the glutes. Maybe right knee bends even a little bit more. Keep the bend into the right knee as you kick the left leg behind you, crouching warrior. As you exhale, straighten through the right leg. Rebend into the right knee, sink it low. Okay, hear me out here. We're gonna take a pretty big journey to a fallen star. So you're gonna sweep the outside edge of the left foot off to the right side of the mat and pause. So right foot is still to the top of the mat. Outside edge of the left foot has stepped off to the right. Bring the left hand down to the floor, underneath left shoulder. Open the right fingertips up to the sky. As you press into left hand and the left foot, right foot gets lighter. Until you can lift it, step it up and over, fallen star, right foot plants at the back of the mat. Drive the hips up. Circle the right hand down to the floor, shift to the right toes. Slide the left knee all the way to the left elbow. And then down to the left wrist. and then up to the left armpit, down to the left wrist. So now you're sliding the left knee up and down the arm for another 5, 4, 3, 2. Slide the left knee up towards left armpit and then step the left foot to the outside of the left hand. Drop the weight of the hips low. Now you have some options. You can hang out exactly here, or you could start to work the left shoulder underneath the left knee any amount. Or maybe it's the back of the left arm that's underneath the knee, but you're really diving the chest down towards the floor. Keep the right knee lifted. Hands can stay to the mat, or they can get a little lighter. You could reach our arms out towards airplane wings, or even work towards a bind. Right hand could come behind the back. Left arm is underneath the left thigh, and you could work towards interlacing fingers behind you. Again, all just options. Can you bring the hips a little lower? If you've got the bind, we unravel it, bring the right hand to the mat, and circle the left fingertips all the way up to the sky, twisting the heart to the left so that you're in a low lunge, twisted low lunge shape. Left hand frames out the left foot, step back, find your plank pose. Vinyasa, any way you want it. We meet with the hips up and back, downward facing dog. And then we're on the second side. On your inhale, lift the left toes high. Bend into the left knee, open hip. Option to stay here or to roll it open towards your wild thing. As you unravel the shape, left hand finds the mat. Curl the left knee to nose. Round through the upper back. Tap the left knee to the floor halfway up the mat. And then curl the left knee back to nose. Step the left foot halfway up the mat. Now you reach the right toes high. Again, you're welcome to stay exactly here in this extended standing split shape. You can pop up on the fingertips if you need, or you can plant the hands, lean your weight out, bend into the left knee, and play with a hop or 2 or 3 towards a handstand. Next time the left foot meets the mat, you pause there. Curl the right knee to nose. So remember, left foot is halfway up the mat. Curl the right knee to nose. Now step the right foot all the way to the top of the mat and lift the left toes high. Standing split on the right leg at the top of the mat. Bend into the left knee, open up the hip. Right hand could reach around for the left toes. And if you get that grip a little, kick into the hand. You could stay lifted here or dragon squat, right knee bends. As it does, you lower the hips and you kick the left foot off to the right side. If you've lowered down, we get to make the journey back up to the top. Take your time with it, driving into the right foot. Lift the hips, bend the left knee, point the left knee all the way to sky. And as you release the left foot, get lighter in the hands, come all the way to stand, bring the left leg with you. Left thigh hugs up towards the left rib cage. Flex out the left toes. Right knee will bend, left leg stays where it is, right knee will bend. And that's what lowers you down into your chair pose. So right knee bends, lowering the left foot to meet the right foot, Utkatasana chair pose. As soon as you land, shift your weight into the left foot. Everything else stays the same, but squeeze the right heel in towards the glutes. Now kick the right leg long to the space behind you, crouching warrior. Bend a little deeper into the left knee, loading up the shape. As you exhale, straighten through the left leg. Rebend into the left knee, crouching warrior. Here's our big transition to a fallen star. Right foot swings off to the left. Right leg stays straight or straight-ish. Outside edge of the right foot finds the floor off to the left side. Right hand down to the mat, left fingertips sweep open to the sky. As you shift your weight into right hand and right foot, left foot steps up and over and to the back of the mat, fallen star. Circle the left hand to the floor, shift to the ball of the left foot. Slide the right knee all the way to the right elbow. And then down to the right wrist and up to the armpit. Down to the wrist, up to the armpit. All of a sudden, this is quite spicy. For another 5, 4, 3, 2, up to the armpit, and then step the right foot to the outside of the right hand. Drop the hips low. Let's work the right shoulder underneath the right knee, any amount. Or maybe again, it's the tricep, somewhere along the back of the right arm. Stopping points along the way, you can hang out exactly where you're at, or arms could lift towards airplane wings. You could even work towards the bind, interlacing hands behind you. Can you get the hips a little lower? Drive off the ball of the left foot. And if you've got the bind, left hand returns to the floor. Sweep the right fingertips open to the sky, moving into the twist. Right hand finds the mat, frame out the right foot, step it back, plank pose. And move it through your vinyasa, however you like. We meet in a downward facing dog. That flow, once again, same but different. We'll speed it up a little bit, we'll add a little on. On your inhale, lift the right toes high. Bend the open hip, option to roll it into your wild thing. Step the right foot halfway up the mat. Take your time in the transition space. As the right foot plants, hands reach out in front of you. Possible that you kick off of the right foot towards a handstand hop. If the right foot has left the ground, lower it down. Pull the left knee to chest and step the left foot through. Right toes lift. Standing split at the top of the mat, standing on the left foot. Right knee bends, open hip. Left hand reaches for right toes. You either stay at the top or you play with lowering down into your dragon squat. Left knee bends, kicking the right toes off to the left. Maybe right hand lifts from the mat. If you've lowered down, we get to lift back to the top. Right knee all the way to sky. Release the grip of the foot and then come all the way to stand, right knee to chest. This time, straighten the right leg forward to let the wobbles happen. Left knee bends. Well, let me say, you can stay here if you like. You can stay standing here at the top of the mat if you like, or left knee could bend, lowering you down any amount, half pistol, full pistol. Maybe you come all the way down, hips tap the mat. But then whatever journey you've taken down, we get to bring it back up. You can, of course, use the hands for help as you need, making your way all the way back up to the top. Right knee bends. Right knee stays as it is. And as the left knee bends, you lower into your chair pose, Utkatasana. Right foot finds the floor, left heel squeezes into the glutes. Crouching warrior, kick the left leg to the space behind you. Exhale, straighten through the right leg. Re-bend into the right knee, sweep the left foot off to the right, fallen star, left hand plants. Right foot steps up and over to the back of the mat. This time in your fallen star, can you lift the left foot from the floor? Little balancy, strength, playful moment here. We're gonna play with shifting towards a two-pointed plank. Bend the left knee, and as you shift to the ball of the right foot and pivot the hips towards parallel with the floor, left leg kicks behind you, right arm reaches out in front of you. Again, let the wobbles be there, let yourself fall in and out of it. Right hand finds the floor, so you're in a three-legged plank. Left knee pulls all the way to the left elbow. Step the left foot to the outside of the left hand. I'm going to talk us into super soldier as an option. Other options we've done. You can stay here. You can work towards your snail pose. Any stopping points along the way are welcome. You'll work the left shoulder underneath the left knee. Again, any amount. From here, you could play with stepping the right foot forward, lifting the right toes to the sky, right knee bends, and then maybe left hand reaches around for the right toes. If you get the grip, a little bit of a kick, you're peeling the right knee up towards the sky. So we've been in a modified version of this now several times. And the difference here is that the left shoulder is behind the left knee if you're working towards your super soldier. As little slingshot as possible, you release the foot, step all the way back where you came from, right toes to back of mat, hands to the inside of the left foot. The next place we'll meet is in our down dog. If you, for the fun of it, would like to throw a hurdler's pose into the mix, Ekapada Kundanyasana 2, hands find the floor shoulder width distance. Again, the left shoulder towards the back of the left arm is going to be, or underneath the back of the left knee. It's going to be helpful for you here. Elbows pull together, lean the upper body out. Maybe left toes lift. Think locust pose in the chest. Heart is lifting. One or both feet could lift from the floor. And then eventually down dog, right foot plants. However you unravel the shape, possibly a vinyasa, and then up and back, downward facing dog. Okay, we get to do that whole thing again one more time, and then we switch things up. On your inhale, lift the left toes high. Left knee bends, open hip. If you'd like to roll it open to a wild thing, you can send the hips up. Left fingertips up and over. Eventually, left knee pulls towards chest. Left foot steps halfway up the mat. Right toes lift. You're either in this extended standing split shape, or you're shifting weight into the hands and playing with a hop or two off of the left foot. As the left foot plants, pull the right knee to nose. Step the right foot through between the hands. Lift the left toes high. Bend into the left knee, open up the hip. Right hand reaches around for the left foot. Finding a little bit of a kick into the hand at the top. You can stay here, or you could bend into the right knee. Lowering any amount towards your dragon squat. If you've lowered to the bottom, we get to drive it all the way back up. Left knee points to sky. Releasing the foot and getting lighter in the hands, pull palms to chest. And come all the way to stand. Left leg comes with you. Straighten the left leg forward, and either you hold here, or right knee bends any amount, lowering you towards your half pistol, your full pistol, maybe all the way down to the floor. Making it as smooth and seamless and with ease as possible, but know that before ease comes a whole lot of effort. Whatever journey you've taken down, we get to lift back up to the top. And when you get there, left knee bends. Right knee bends, and as you pull the hips back, you lower ever so sweetly into your chair pose, palms to heart. Shift your weight into the left foot, right heel squeezes to glutes. Kick the right leg back behind you, crouching warrior. Exhale, straighten through the left leg. Rebend the left knee, swing the right foot off to the left side of the mat. Moving towards our fallen star one last time, right hand finds the mat, left fingertips up and over. Step the left foot up and over into the back of the mat. As it lands, the right foot lifts from the floor. So fallen star with the right foot lifted. Again, we're moving towards our two-pointed plank. Can you bend the right knee? And as you roll to the ball of the left foot, kick the right leg to the back of the mat, hips and shoulders square down, left fingertips reach forward. Left hand finds the floor, right knee pulls to right elbow, pause. Step the right foot to the outside of the right hand. Okay, you have all sorts of options here, one being that you stay right here. You do not have to take this anywhere else. If you would like, you could start to lower the chest down towards the floor, working the right shoulder underneath the back of the right knee. Maybe you hang out here for a breath, give it a beat. Then the left foot has to find its journey forward. So it could be one big step, it could be a couple little ones. As you can shift your weight into the right foot, again, shoulders behind the right knee, left heel squeezes to glutes, left knee bends. Right hand reaches for the left foot, right hand, left foot. Now as you're there, peel the left knee up towards the ceiling. So you're keeping the bend into the knee, keeping the right hand gripped to the left toes, but left knee peels open towards the sky. Gaze is right underneath you. If you wanted, you could get lighter in the left hand or even hold the left hand onto the right foot. Eventually, left toes journey their way back to the back of the mat. Mindful in the transition space as the right knee bends, the left foot steps back. You wiggle your way back into that runner's lunge shape. We're going to meet in our final down doggo practice. If you'd like to add on a quick, playful little Ekapada 2, you could. So again, working right shoulder underneath the right knee. Hands plant shoulder width distance. Think chaturanga in the arms. Think locust pose in the chest. The heart is reaching out. Right leg might lift, left leg might lift. Leg could be bent or straight. Eventually, however you journey back to your down dog. Maybe a vinyasa along the way. And when you reach your down dog, you pause. Soften the knees to the floor, walk them wide, big toes together, hips to heels. Child's pose, but you might soften forearms to the floor and rotate palms towards the middle, stacking one palm on top of the other and then letting the forehead rest on the back of the palms. We're going to slow things down quite quickly. Can you reconnect to the rhythm of your breath? As you find your inhale, walk the hands back towards you, coming up seated on the shin. And then cross over the ankles and find your way all the way down onto the back. Pulling the knees into the chest when you get there, happy baby pose. Hands reach for the outsides of the feet. A little bit of a rock left and right. Maybe a bend and straighten through one leg and then the other. Eventually with the right knee in, extend the left leg long. Supine twist, guide the right knee across the body. Come back through the middle, swap it out, left leg in, right leg long. Left arm to a T, exhale, twist. Inhale back to the middle and exhale slides you into Shavasana. Of course, if there's any other movements that you'd like before settling down, do your thing. But otherwise, you land all the way down onto the back body and close down the eyes and pull yourself inward. Crossing that threshold from outer space to inner space and cultivating the nourishment of your own heart space, mind space, body, energetics. Give yourself time here in the pause, especially if you resist the pause. Thank you for sharing your practice, and I hope to see you back here again really soon and practice with you again next time. Namaste.